Before we begin, the Differently Brained team acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we record, edit, and stream this podcast. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples and their elders, past, present, and emerging. We extend that respect to all First Nations cultures and their ongoing connection to the lands, waterways, and communities. Now on with the show.
Every little thing I do never seems enough for you. You don't want to lose it again, but I'm not like them. Baby, when you finally get to love somebody, guess what? It's gonna be May. Welcome to the May episode of Differently Brained, the community. Probably didn't need to do the whole chorus, but in the wonderful words of Justin Timberlake, it's going to be May. It is May.
It is May,
Welcome. Welcome to Differently Brained, the podcast where no brain is the same, no episode is the same. I hope you enjoyed my beautiful tune.
I certainly did, and I didn't know what you were singing until the very, very end, because I am out of touch with the popular culture.
To be fair, that song is from like decades ago at this point. Is it popular culture if it's like a 10, 20-year-old song?
That's a good point. I was not born then. Unlucky
What?
Rutherford.
And I'm just into Dietrich. And both of us were absolutely born by the time NSYNC put out It's Gonna Be Me, by the way, Lachlan. Yeah, it is May. Tell me, son, how was your May? How did it please you? Was it Justin Timberlake-y?
My May consisted of going to the hairdressers and saying, I want my hair to look like that, while pointing at a box of mee goreng noodles, and I became Justin Timberlake in that video clip. No,
there's nothing better than Maggi noodle hair, let me tell you. As someone who has dressed up as Justin Timberlake before in the denim ensemble with my it was Brandon Harvey. Go back and listen to his episode with my beautiful Brandon Harvey as my denim clad Britney Spears. I know what it's like to have Maggi noodle hair because I put some underneath my hat.
Amazing.
And it's a time.
What I actually did in May was pretty much same old. I've been pumping iron at the gym.
Pumped iron.
Shit. No, I haven't been pumping iron. I've been gradually increasing my exercise regimen and losing weight again, and been dipping my toe into a couple of, I guess, potential bright futures, such as a relocation, perhaps. Wink, wink, Jacinta.
Ooh.
And I don't know. Look, I've had, as always, I have had fine days and really terrible, terrible weeks during this month of May. And now that we are almost at the end of it, I can safely say that out of all of the months that we've had so far this year, this has been the fifth one.
Correct. What a beautiful fact to end your sum up on. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It is, in fact, the fifth month of this year. Yes.
Yep. Never been my favourite month, May. It's got too few letters in it. Not quite cold enough for my liking. But it could be worse. It could be much worse.
See, both my sisters are born in May, so I'm quite okay with it. One, because, I got siblings out of it. I get 2 birthday parties a year out of it. And also, obviously, I sing It's Gonna Be May all the time. So for me, it's a perfectly acceptable month. Probably not my favorite, but it's definitely not my least favorite.
I'll let you know when it's my favorite month. And
okay.
And spoilers, it's not my birthday month.
That's not a spoiler. If anyone's listened to our birthday events episode, I don't think that's really a spoiler. If you haven't, go back and give it a listen.
Go back and listen. But tell me about your month of May, Jacinta. You've had quite a lot going on.
May has been May. It's been good. So for anyone who doesn't follow my personal Instagram page, I've been at the Wheeler Centre, actually, which is a literature organisation in Melbourne that has an office in the State Library. So at the end of April, start of May, I was announced as one of their Hot Desk Fellows, which means that I get, thank you. It means that I get a desk of my own at the State Library in the Wheeler Centre section of the State Library for 10 weeks to use as I please, 24/7 access. So when the State Library announcement goes off at like 6 o'clock or whatever, being like, time to go, everyone. I sit there smug as a little pug, just being like, well, I don't have to leave. Obviously, given me a huge ego trip. I can get myself through those fancy doors that are like, you know, you need the beep before, the fob with the card or whatever. I think I'm totes cool. There is actually a toilet that I could use in the Wheeler Centre side of things, and I actively go and use the other one where I get to cross through a fancy ye olde door and go into the general public because I think it makes me look cool.
Yes.
And, you know, just take that, imposter syndrome. I have a State Library card. It's just a little thrill every time. So I've been doing that. At the moment, it's mostly I go in 3 days a week and just do what I can. And so that's been really, really wonderful to continue to work on my fantasy kids book, which I'm hoping I'll have done by the end of this. So we're halfway through now. I've only got 5 more weeks left, which is both so exciting and just so I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end at all. I've loved it so much. Everyone has been so lovely. So in the same area, there's also Writers Victoria, there's Australian Poetry, there's the Emerging Writers Festival, Melbourne Writers Festival, Black and Bright, all of these amazing organizations staffed by just the sweetest, kindest, bookish, beautiful people that I've just adored getting to know. So that's been so wonderful. One, to have that space just to leave all my stuff and have all of my plotting and planning up on the wall and all of that and to make it my own has been wonderful. And then to meet all of these people has been super lovely. And then just the fact that, you know, I can say the Wheeler Centre believes in this little thing, such a stab at the imposter syndrome. So that's been the majority of my May, but there was a few blips. So Lucas is now a fancy, important man, and he gets sent to New Zealand for work now occasionally. So he went earlier in the month, and he'll be gone for this week as well. And it turns out that throws my routine off. Who knew?
Who'd have thought? Yeah.
Who'd have thought? So my diet went in the toilet. My whole structure went in the toilet. I didn't make it in to the Wheeler Centre that week. I had to actively plan this trip around, like what I'll be doing on each day, because I don't have that muscle memory to go off. I had a lot of anxiety about leaving the house at any time. Yeah, it was just a weird time. So yeah, that was a fun thing to learn. I was very, very anxious earlier last week and couldn't figure out why. And then Lucas pointed out that maybe it's because he had another trip coming up and this one's longer. This one's from a Sunday morning through to a Friday night, whereas the other one was a Monday morning to a Friday morning.
Is that an ongoing thing, or is that just like isolated for now?
It's just isolated for now. So they're launching a new management program thing, and he's one of the people who's leading the training and things like that. So it's just for now, but it has given me a taste of what if he becomes even more big and fancy and has to travel a lot. And yeah, maybe I'll have to figure something out, because
maybe you'll have to demand to go with him. It is your right as a partner to go to New Zealand and be a hobbit.
Yeah, but we've got pets. We've got fur babies.
They can come too. They can come too.
We're gonna pack Sirius and Wallenby.
Yep.
Sure. But no, so that was my May. It was both brilliant and a little bumpy, but I was much kinder to myself this month than I think I normally would have been in the past. I'm trying to be calmer, and I've learnt that beating myself up only wastes more energy. And with chronic fatigue, I don't have the energy to waste. Mm-hmm. And so I think I'm getting to a point where if it's not working on a day and I feel like I can't sit at the desk anymore or I can't stay at the Wheeler Center anymore, just call it and go home.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't mean that you've wasted time or you've lost anything. I think back in the day, I'd be like, well, it took you an hour to get here and it'll take you an hour to get home. So you need to do at least 2 hours to make it kind of worth it. And now I'm like, look, if you did an hour, you did an hour. That's great. Calm down. So a personal growth month for me, maybe.
Yeah, good. That's good. I forgot to mention one other thing just to, talk about me for once, if you don't mind.
Sorry, my apologies.
No, I'm kidding. I saw my psychologist yesterday for the first time in, I think probably since March, potentially.
Woo!
And got a few pointers from him and actually kind of delved into some stuff. I'm being vague, I know. And it's not because I'm ashamed to admit anything. It's because I find it really hard to break down what has been said to me in therapy in a way that is going to be understandable for anyone. Not because it's like particularly complex or anything. It's just because I'm bad at explaining things. But yeah, I don't know. I've got some issues with not liking being uncomfortable, as does everyone. But I have a real issue with sitting with that discomfort and then writing it out to a potentially better end kind of thing. Instead, I have this avoidance thing going on. And we kind of delved into where that might have come from. And yeah, that was good, I guess. Yeah.
Well done you, though. That sounds hard and uncomfortable on its own, and I'm proud of you. As we share, all of our stuff with our listeners, does everyone think Lachlan should in fact move to Melbourne? Yes, we think so. Yeah, comment below, share it. Just
well, here's the thing:
differently brained in the same state.
Make it a localized endeavor. I am definitely going to come down to Melbourne for a little while. To suss the place out, see how I like it, figure it. The thing is, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm beholden to up here, but at the same time, I'm not really beholden to it, according to many other people. And yeah, it's the avoidance thing. I'm scared. I'm afraid of doing things that are outside my comfort zone because they're uncomfortable. And this would be very, very uncomfortable. But I'd have you there, mate, and Lucas and several of our other mutual friends.
And what's more recalibrating than moving to a new city? You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yep.
Amazing. It sounds like we've both had both brilliant and icky Mays.
Yeah.
Really?
It does sound like that.
And one of the biggest things that we like to do on this community episode is share the community's wins and losses, the brain gains and blunders, if you will.
Well, how about, Jacinta, you tell us about Jess's brain gain / blunder?
Jess has given us so much, and I love it. Jess is a frequent commenter. For anyone who has or hasn't listened, we had Jess on the podcast with her mum, Bonnie, talking about her diagnosis journey. So I'm absolutely just delighted that she's part of our community still and that she keeps us up on what's going on. So yeah. I'll read this verbatim. So exactly 1 week ago, so technically it didn't happen during this week, but Jess will forgive you. I was diagnosed with HEDS, which is hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I hope I said that right. I always get tongue-tied with it. And I was fucking thrilled, as you should be. Okay, you're going to have to cut out the verbatim part because I clearly went off script. I also finally collected my custom orthotics from the podiatrist on Tuesday, And Wednesday was my first shift where I wasn't in constant pain for the first time in years. So both of those are huge wins.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Orthotics shoes, Lachlan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I didn't know what orthotics was.
Sorry, sorry. I didn't know that you were asking me to confirm if orthotics were shoes. Yes, orthotics are shoes.
Also, I found out that a purple-crowned lorikeet that we rescued a couple of weeks ago from a cat attack is doing really well in care and will be fine. And that was also a huge win because it had a really shocking-looking head injury. A friend in the UK messaged me to say they had rescued a gosling from a crow attack in a public park and taken it to animal welfare officer on site because of watching my rescue stuff on stories.
Nice.
Amazing wins. All of that is so good. Just so proud of you. And to keep things balanced, she also shared a blunder with us. Jess said, I really liked this pattern on Ravelry and wanted to try making one, but I'm struggling with it and don't want to continue, and I'm only halfway up the chart. It's also giving my hands pins and needles, so definitely a reason to quit now. Absolutely. Got to put yourself first. If it's giving you pins and needles, that's never going to work. It's a beautiful pattern, but I'm glad that, you're finding those boundaries and you're making sure you're not pushing yourself.
Yeah.
Also, I've just Googled a purple-crowned lorikeet, and they are stunning.
Hang on. Let me do the same. Purple-crowned lorikeets.
They're the little cute ones with the little...
With the purple crown.
Yeah, with the little bloop on its head. Oh, baby. That's so nice. Oh, Jess, thank you for sharing. It makes me so happy every time.
So for Michael, he said that it was a busy week, but not quite as busy as last week. He went to his first QDN peer support meeting, which was good. And there were others there with an ADHD diagnosis, and they were all able to share their stories. It's good when you can... We were just talking to someone... When this podcast comes out, we'll have already dropped our most recent interview, and we talked with Alex Crease about the importance of finding that group of people, people who are autistic kind of can band together and
always got to have your community. So that's beautiful. Yeah. And lucky last, Mel was very busy packing gift boxes and doing trips to the post office this May. And she was looking forward to hearing about everyone else's week and month because she is absolutely the biggest cutie and just such a lovely, wonderful person. Mel has also been on the show. What an absolutely gorgeous community we have. If you guys want to get mentioned on here, if you want to talk to these wonderful people, if you just want to see more of what we're all doing on a weekly, monthly basis, go check out our Facebook group. We're Differently Brained Community. We post sporadically, but I'm getting better slowly but surely. And it's just a place where, you can talk to other people with similar diagnoses or similar identities and, mental health experiences and share whatever you want. Come in with memes, as long as it's all done with kindness and love. We just want to make it a safe place on the internet for everyone to come together. So please come and join us. It makes us just so happy. And without you guys, we can't make these community episodes. So please do.
We normally in these little community episodes, when we've done them in the past, have tried to address a community question or dilemma. And we don't have one of those this week. And also...
Get more problems, people. Send them in.
Come on, man. Just use the Facebook group as your soapbox. And then we will use your ideas to further our internet presence. Please.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Lachlan and I really like giving our opinions. So hit us up because we would absolutely love to share it. Dilemmas, questions. If you've got questions for us that you want us to chat about, if you've got stuff you want us to review, it doesn't even matter. Just hit us up. We love it.
Actually, you know what was really good? I really enjoyed, even though I didn't love the movie, but I really loved the fact that the community, and I'm sorry, but I forget who it was that mentioned it, who suggested it, watching Alice Darling, and then you and I watching it and giving our opinions on it kind of thing. I enjoyed that. That was good. Doing a little kind of Margaret and David style, but with a differently brained content.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so do that.
Yeah. Hit us with everything. Do you have any dilemmas, questions, or anything this month, Lachlan?
I've got so many dilemmas this month, mate. They all kind of boil down to one question. And the question is, why? And that's what I'm asking you. Why?
Relatable. I have zero answers, to be honest. What have you been reading, watching, engaging with this month?
I've been reading a couple of different books for the podcast. I've been reading Hannah Diviny's book. And I've
beautiful.
been reading...
what a treasure.
Yeah, I've also been reading Bad Faith, the one about the ultra-Orthodox cult. Yep. And I just got a new book in the mail today, which I'm excited to start reading.
I know, constantly jealous. I don't know why Australia Post doesn't like me, but you always get our podcast books before I do. And so the book that Lachlan is talking about is called Girl Falling by Hayley Scrivener, who we'll have on the show in a couple of months. Hayley's legitimately one of my friends.
Oh.
And you got her book first. How hurtful is that, Australia Post? So rude. So rude.
Maybe you're not as good at friends as you thought you were.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll take that up with Hayley when she's on the show then. You know, maybe you're right. She actively said, post these out to Differently Brained, but make sure that Lachlan gets his copy first, just so that Jacinta, learns her place.
Learn her place, yeah.
Because, if you've heard, so Hayley and I have both been on episodes of James and Ashley Stay at Home. And if you've listened to any of our shared episodes, you will notice that we do have potentially a bit of a competitive friendship, maybe.
I see.
A supportive and loving friendship, obviously, but yes.
But you would either of you would trip each other over in a marathon at the end. Is that what you're suggesting?
If the marathon was holding the record of most appearances on James and Ashley Stay at Home, absolutely yes. Yes. Hayley, I absolutely expect, is going to take me out since her book obviously comes out before my unfinished book. So I imagine that she will get another spot. But yeah, if I could just continue to one-up her on specifically that podcast, James and Ashley Stay at Home and appearances, yeah, I'd trip her over. Yeah. I'll do it. I'd do it again.
What about you? Have you been reading or watching anything lately that's been tickling your fancy?
So I'm still doing my rewatch of House, which has been enjoyable, delightful. I now still think I'm a medical genius. I can diagnose anything. I'm ready. And I've also started reading, so I feel like I've been well behind the pack, and I'm kind of embarrassed, but I read my first Kate Gordon book, and Kate writes the most gorgeous kids' books, just absolutely beautiful and wonderful. So I started Whale Song a couple of weeks ago. It was actually when I first went to the Wheeler Centre. It was on the shelf there, and they said, help yourself. So I did. And so I started that, and then foolishly left it on my desk and keep forgetting to bring it home. So then I got myself The Heart Song of Wonder Quinn, read it in a day. Beautiful, gorgeous books. And I'm now reading The Ballad of Melody Rose, which is the second book in her Dialeaf Hall kind of series where they follow different characters, but it's all set in the same location, Dialeaf Hall. And just stunning kids writing, absolutely beautiful, so warm, and it just makes my insides all fizzy and nice. So if you're into kids books, or if you've got a little one and you want something that's really easy, really accessible, but also still super emotional and just warms the heart, Kate Gordon is the way to go. And now I'm deep diving into all of her collection. Basically, I've got a bunch more lined up at the library. I've got a few on order. I went through the Wheeler Centre free bookshelf again and pinched anything else that had her name. So Kate Gordon is where I'm at the moment.
Nice.
And in terms of just watching House and watching The Good Wife with Lucas. So that was something that we missed the first time around, and that has been recommended to us because we like those kind of law-ish kind of shows, the political dramas and such. So it's a bit like Suits, but not. And yeah.
I have, by the way, a new request for a guest for us.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've actually mentioned them before.
Just put it out there.
So I watched the first episode of Westworld with Mum, which was a fucking trip. Have you ever seen Westworld?
No, Lucas watched it, so I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never watched the full thing.
It's incredibly interesting and fucked. But I was watching it with Mum for whatever reason, possibly a mistake. Although Mum's super into the edgy shit now that I've shown her Breaking Bad.
Yeah, no, your mum is super edgy with their TV shows now. For everyone who like doesn't know Lachlan's mum, she's just the smallest kind of straighty 180 kind of gal. But she's absolutely cooked in her TV watching now. You've made her feral.
Yep. What have I done? Anyway, in Westworld, Anthony Hopkins plays like the main antagonist, and Anthony Hopkins is autistic. And I want to meet Anthony Hopkins.
Wait, okay. So you chose our May community episode to put out there that you want Anthony Hopkins on the show. What, yes, just please. In case... Do you think we have 7 degrees to Anthony Hopkins? Is that what you're saying?
We fucking might. We were able to get Jordan Steele John on the show. Like, anything's possible. The sky is the limit.
Yeah, but you can Google Jordan's email address. You can't just Google Anthony Hopkins' email address.
Hang on a sec. I'm going to find it.
I love the way your brain goes. All right, fine. We're putting it out there. If anybody knows anybody who knows Anthony Hopkins, however many degrees away you are, Lachlan has set you the challenge. He desires this. Maybe that becomes a regular segment on here. We just put the call out for one particular guest. We just shout it out. I'm adding it into the show notes now.
Still waiting, Stephen Fry.
Okay, we'll either both do it or we'll alternate, but that'll be a new thing. Shout out for a guest.
Yep.
If there's anything else that you guys want to see as regular segments on this mess of an episode, we'd love to hear it. This episode is basically just us having fun and sharing the stuff that you guys share with us. So we're always open for whatever ideas you guys have. If there's something that you want to know, we'll find it for you.
It's gentle coercion to plug our shit wrapped in a nice package of talking about you.
No, you can't say that. Before we go, I want to ask you one final question that I've only just decided to also introduce. What are you looking forward to next month?
Oh, what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to hopefully going down to Melbourne and seeing you and the rest of yous, you know?
Oh, mate, cute.
I'm also looking forward to the weather cooling down even more because it's very sporadic at the moment. I'm still under the blanket, still sweating. And I'm just looking forward to being in a month that's one letter longer, honestly.
Yeah, but like there are no songs about June. So what are you going to do?
There are songs about June, aren't there?
What are there?
Maybe. I know one, but it's not very popular.
I guess you guys will know if there are or aren't based on whether we sing a real song next community episode or if we both just sing Hey June instead of Hey Jude.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because that's the best I have. All right, and since you're taking so long to ask me what I'm looking forward to...
Jacinta, what are you looking forward to next month?
Oh, thank you. How kind of you to ask.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. How reciprocal. Next month, I am looking forward to... Ooh, I was too focused on being sassy and I don't have an answer. I'm looking forward to... I'm looking forward to a whole nother month at the Wheeler Centre and getting the most out of that I possibly can and, you know, hanging out with my other Hot Desk fellows and the organizations there. I'm looking forward to being 4 weeks closer to the end of my manuscript because I have absolutely decided that at the end of this fellowship, I will have a final structurally edited draft that can be sent out to people. So I'm excited to be on the cusp of that going out, on the cusp of, having something big and full and whole.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just continuing on with what I'm doing. I'm excited that if you come to visit, that will be delightful. Oh, sorry, my apologies. That will be very much something to look forward to. It's always a pleasure to host you at my house, and we could do in-person recordings.
Hell yeah.
Which we haven't done before. No. So doing some in-person together podcast sessions, and maybe figuring out a way to get this audio a little bit more profesh if we're able to maybe go to a studio or something.
I think that would be fantastic. Also, everyone should let us know what they're looking forward to in next month as well.
Please do. We always want to hear from you guys. Literally, I know we say it again and again, and I know that, maybe we don't always comment back the fastest, but we genuinely do love hearing from you guys. This whole podcast is for our beautiful community, and we couldn't do any of it without you guys. So please get in touch through the Facebook group. Leave us a review or a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever you're on. Tell us if there's somewhere you're trying to listen that we're not on, and we'll sort it out. And just share us around if you can, guys. We really appreciate it. We're always trying to do better. So let us know what you like, what you don't like. And if you like us, tell your friends. If you don't like us, tell your enemies, I guess.
Yeah. Or tell your enemies that you do like us. And they might listen to us, I don't know, out of spite. And be surprised and go, wow, these people are onto something. And they might they might not be your enemies anymore.
They're going to be like, man, I love their singing voices. I'm so glad they appear to introduce every episode with a song now. I really, really love that part. Amazing. Well, as always, Lachlan, it has been an absolute pleasure and a delight to chat month with you. And I'll see you next week.
I do have one last thing to say.
Oh, sure.
I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. I hate that song. I have to stop it now.
That was not worth the extra seconds for. Thanks.
No, I've been sitting on that the whole episode.
We just lost 12 listeners. Please come back next week, guys.
Bye, and I'm sorry.
Differently Brained shares the opinions of individuals and does not consider your personal circumstances. Differently Brained exists purely for information purposes and should not be relied on as health or medical advice. Because no brain is the same, please consult your healthcare professional for your personal medical needs.